Thank you for tuning into TTV. I'm your host, Toya, and today is Saturday, which means it is our 2021 fictional book recommendations. And if you're new to the show and you haven't watched these before, then what I use the Libby app, which you get access through OneDrive, which is a free resource through your library card. Okay, so check that out. I have the links below for both of those. Again, you just utilize your library card. But today I have 3 books for you guys. I think you're really going to enjoy this. 2 of them were children's books. I didn't know that when I was downloading it, because on my Libby, when I was going through trying to find some different books to listen to, I kept coming across these really short ones that were like 10 minutes or less. So I picked 2 of them, and I picked 2 really good ones to listen to. And turns out they're children's books. So how cool is that? Okay, so the first one is This Is a Gift for You. It was written by Emily Winfield Martin and read by Imani Jade. I don't know why I can't say that. Imani Jade Powers. Okay, it was 3 minutes long. And what was cute about this was it was just her going through almost like, not quite a poem, but almost like a poem, where she's going through it, just saying things that to be grateful for. And it almost sounds like a mother or a parent to a child, the way she describes it, and just goes through all the gifts that are around us that we might not take a moment to realize. You know, like this planet, for one, the fact that we're able to breathe the air, you know, to spend time with family. There was one thing she said, alone and not being alone, loud but quiet. You know, and to me that said a lot. Those are gifts that you would give to anybody who you know, help bring into this world. Because sometimes you want to be alone and sometimes you're not alone, even when you are. So, you know, you have those different things, and loud and quiet, and how you can appreciate both. You know, just like you appreciate your alone time and your time with people, you appreciate the loud and you appreciate the quiet. You know, and it's like a lot of things in this world to be appreciative of and grateful for. And that's really what this was about, was just being grateful to what was being given to this new life. At least that was my interpretation of it. But that was a really good one. And like I said, it was only 3 minutes long. So this is one you can listen to with your kids, okay? And or if you get the book, you can give them the Libby and they can listen to it on their own, you know, and just read along. The next kid's book was ThankYou Amu, and it was written by Mora and read by LaQuita James. LaQuita James. This one was, it said 10 minutes long, so I don't think it was 10 minutes long because she did some things with the author before and after. But this was a really cute story. So, Amu apparently means queen in Nigeria, but this is what the author called her grandmother when she was growing up. And so her grandmother cooked this meal, and again, remember, this is a children's story. Her grandmother cooked this big pot of stew, red stew, and people kept smelling it and coming to her door, knocking on her door, like, can I get some of that? Because it's smelling good, you know? Like, I want a bowl. And so she shared. And she shared and shared and shared until she had, when it was finally time for her to sit down and eat her meal, she had nothing, okay? The stew was all gone. And this is when the giving back comes, where all those people that she fed came and brought dishes to share with her, and it ended up just being like a little party. And that is like one of the perfect examples of karma. Okay, I don't think a lot of people really and truly understand karma. Karma isn't just when you do something bad to somebody, it's gonna come back to you. It's the energy that you put out, the energy you send out into this world is going to come back to you. And so when it comes back to you, it's going to come back to you harder and stronger and bigger than what it was when it went out. And that's good or bad. So that's why you have to really be careful about the energy you put out there. Hence me and my other video yesterday about my dog and how I got to change my behavior with my dog, because he gets on my last nerve because we have this little... Anyway, watch that video from yesterday if you want to know what I'm talking about. But so the energy that you put out comes back. And so she just gave bowls of stew. just a bowl of stew. That was all she gave. And what she got back was they had salad, they had roast chicken, they had potato. They had a full meal with music and party. And she was not alone. She had all these people that were so grateful for her giving to them all around her. And like I said, that is the perfect example for karma. And I love the fact that this is a children's book. So there, this is something you can start your children out young learning. Okay, learning the blessings of giving to other folks. Okay, because that's going to keep you in alignment with God, with spirit, source, Yahweh, whatever you call it. Okay, that energy, the energy of those of the spirit that created us is what you will help your child align with stories like this. So I thought that was really beautiful and I loved it. Now, the second one I picked because I know it is a movie. The third one I picked because I know it is a movie. Woo, excuse me. I know it is a movie on Amazon. It's called Passing, and I didn't realize it was a book, but I believe it's Amazon. It's either Amazon or Netflix, one of those two, but I really think it's Amazon Prime. But it's called Passing by Nella Larsen. It was read by Robin Miles, and it was 4 hours long. And if you haven't seen the previews for the movie on Amazon, I really think it's Amazon. If you haven't seen the previews for it, it's about a black lady that passes for white back in the days where there was still that segregation and still those civil issues that were a lot bigger. I don't know if I want to say that word. I don't know how to say this because it's still big and still relevant nowadays and still prevalent in a lot of cultural people's lives, in our minority lives. But it was different back then as far as how it came about and how it was expressed. Okay, so this was still a time when everybody, they said exactly what they felt. You had your color section, you had your white section. It was during that period that this was taking place, and you had a lot of black folks that could pass for white, and some of them actually did. And so you have these two friends who grew up together, and one ended up leaving because of some, family issues, and she ended up being raised by her white aunts. And she grew up and took on that identification of being white and passing, where you had the other young lady who could pass as well, but who didn't. Okay, so she stayed true to her identity and her culture, and she didn't try to hide it. And with this story, that's what it's about, being true to who you are. And that's one of the things about this channel as well, is to give you tools and information and things like that to help you be true to who you are. Because when you are true and aligned with who you are, you can be aligned with God. When you are aligned with God, you can do his work and you can have a much happier, healthier, satisfying life. Okay, not to say you can if you weren't aligned, that it's going to be horrible, but you'll have a lot of imbalance that's going on, a lot of tug of war, a lot of constant fighting. And that's what she experienced in this movie when she was passing for white. She was missing the fact of her culture of being around black people and having that conversation and just being able to relax and be who she is without being worried that somebody's going to find out her secret. So she was able to just relax and be herself when she was with her people. But when she was with her husband and passing for white, it's always this worry in the back of the head, like they're going to find out. Somebody is going to find out. Eventually, my lie is going to come to be. And she said that one of the things that really scared her was when she had her child. That when she had her child, she was so scared that the child was going to come out dark skinned, because sometimes it does skip generations. Like I have a friend. She's my complexion, maybe a couple of shades darker, but her children are like, her son is like the palm of your hand, and then her daughter is, I want to say, a shade darker than her. So it skips generations, and you never know what the child is going to come out like. And so that was one of her fears, was that she was going to give birth to a noticeably dark child, a noticeably black child. And so she had this friend, on the other hand, who could pass for white, who never did. And she had everything that she wanted. She had her husband. She had the social life. She had money. She had everything that she wanted in her life to be satisfied and to be happy with it. And so what happened is that this young lady who was passing becomes a little envious of the one who has everything without hiding anything of who she is. So it's basically like we're both living the same lives, but you're living it being who you are, where I have to hide. And then her husband was truly racist. He really did not like black folks at all, and didn't even recognize when he was around them. So when when his wife, who's passing, had her two friends over that could pass as well, he didn't realize that he was in a room of three black ladies. And so some of the comments that he made and remarks he made were really offensive to the other two ladies. And so I don't want to give you too much of what's the story of what went on, but again, it's very difficult to hide who you are and to be okay and to be satisfied with that, which is why it's always best to just be who you are. Stick with your own integrity of who you are, what you stand for, what you believe. Show the world. Express yourself, okay? Because that's what we had yesterday, was Expression Thursdays. It's Reflection Fridays. Expression Thursdays is coming. But reflect on who you are. Maintain your integrity. Stick to who you are, and don't be swayed by things that go wrong. You'll be surprised what ends up happening. Like, you may think that, okay, so I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna do this and pretend to be this and pretend to be this person, and all along you never needed to. If you were just yourself, you would have actually gotten to where you are, if not further, and been a lot happier just being who you are. And trust me, I know this from experience. When I was growing up and I was a kid, I used to try to be a lot like my sister, figuring maybe, one, that it would keep me out of trouble, and two, that maybe I could get some, be noticed. People would listen to me. And it didn't work for me. It didn't. It didn't change anything. If I tried to be like her, I still got in trouble. If I tried to be like her, and bring home good report cards and stuff, it was still the same acknowledgement as it was when I was just being me. And so eventually, through the years, like it was a long struggle, I let go of all of that and just became who I am. And what ended up happening is by me becoming who I am, I actually ended up closer with my family. So it's always best to stay true to you, who you are, what you believe in, and where you see, like, who you are. Like, when you look in the mirror, who do you want to see? Not who does the world want to see, but who do you want to see? And that's why I did like this book, because it did give you a very good distinction between the two, and how the one ended up pulling some of her, like I said, I'm trying to tell y'all what I'm telling y'all. When she started pulling some of her issues and passing them on to the young lady who had everything she wanted. So it's a little more to it than that, but in any case, that's the part that relates to this channel that I wanted to share with you. So those were the three stories, okay? I did do a video on integrity. I do suggest you check that out, which I'll have it at the end here. And also, there's only one you. I did a video on that as well. So those are two videos that you can watch, which should be around here somewhere right about now. Check those out. Check them both out. And listen to the message in there, because you really need to stick true to who you are. You will have a happier, healthier life, and you will be more connected to God, Source, Yahweh, Spirit, whatever you want to call it. Whatever your name is for it, you will be more connected to it. So that's what I have for you guys today. I love you, and I will see you guys tomorrow for Communion Sunday.